Something about the world ain't right. The darkness lives in plain sight. In the ether, adjust your eyes. There are those that have no clue. You give them hints, they just stare at you. Most have lived in Plato's cave, watching.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with my dear friend, the one and only Michelle Schiau, who is on the road. I believe she's the primary driver for the current tour of Lewis Herms' campaign going through California. Is that correct, lovely Michelle?
Yes, it is. I get the official honor of driving this magnificent bus that's wrapped with Lewis, who's traveling for We the People as the anti-politician. And the response has been tremendous. It's really good. If we can meet people and talk with them, they are jumping on board. We're currently in Crescent City, California. We started out in LA, and we're circling the entire state. Lewis, right now, he's on two tours. One is the Clear Tour, where he's going to every voter registrar in all 58 counties in California. He's talking with the voter registrar, and what he's asking for is transparency and accountability. And when we're all done, he's going to put a little compilation from all of the voter registrars across the state of California and deliver it to the people. He is definitely the We the People candidate, and it's such an honor to be supporting him and working with him. And it's amazing driving this bus. People will honk at us. They come up asking questions. And you know what's getting the most attention? It's the anti-politician.
Yeah.
And that's really what people are coming up and inquiring about. And we all speak about it, the entire team. You know most of the team. Natalie, Bruce's wife, is on it, and Christine, who's his campaign assistant. And
Is that Geiger?
Yeah, Christine Geiger. She's just working her butt off, getting all the videos up and setting everything up for us. So it's a pretty amazing group. I'm honored to be with them.
Oh yeah, and they're lucky to have you and your Shirley Temple smile. You know, I think people need a show like this because we're not just going to talk about the Lewis Herms campaign. We're going to go into other things. You know, people, I included. You know, there's a lot of shows out there that just want this movie to keep going, and I think a lot of people are tired, myself included. So what is your take on things? You know, we've had Derek Johnson saying this is going to be pretty open to the public as to what's going on to, I don't know to what level, but something on a grand scale by July 4th. I have a friend that I grew up with who's worked for the Department of Defense and, you know, with the Rothschilds, et cetera. She's saying the same thing. So the intel I've received from, you know, people that, you know, people know Derek Johnson, quite a controversial figure, but he said on a recent video, it's not by accident that his video came out in 2022. I think it was part of the plan. Where are you at with things? And some optimism would probably be appreciated by some folks.
All right. Well, I am in a total agreement with Derek Johnson and your friend. By July 4th, we are going to be celebrating. We've already entered the golden age. The changing of the fiat system to the new gold-backed system has already taken place. It's just a matter of implementing it and getting it out to the public. Like you, many people that I've been encountering on this tour are frustrated that things are not happening as quickly as they would like. But remember, the deep state has been planning this for 1,000 years, 100 years. We've been into this for only 10 years. It's like a drop in the bucket. Things are happening. And what Trump is doing at this moment, he's getting people to expose themselves. And as they expose themselves, the questioning comes up from the masses, the population. And remember when he took his inauguration, what did he tell us? He said, I am giving you, we the people, your country back. We're taking it back from the cronies. We're taking it back from the deep state and giving it back to you, the people. They're doing all they can behind the scenes. But in that phrase, he said, the people. It's time for us to band together with the optimism because we know that things are moving in the right direction, albeit a little bit slower than we would like. But really, how do you eliminate 10 wars in that amount of time? And he has only been in, a little over a year.
Right.
That's a monumental accomplishment. Changing of the banking system, going from the CBDC, the central banking system, to a system where we, the people, control our own finances. That's coming. He continually talks about the elimination of income taxes. We are going to see those gone. And like Derek says, by July 4th, it's our 250th anniversary. What better time to have a mass celebration and a complete turnover back to we the people? But we the people have to do our part.
Right.
Let's quit belly aching and look at the positiveness. Let's eliminate the negativity in our lives. What can we do? How can we better our lives? Now I'm going to go a little back into my roots, galactic spiritualism.
Perfect.
Because this is the time that we are supposed to be looking out for ourselves, and it's not selfish, but taking the time to go inward. What can we do to better ourselves? How can we eliminate judgment? Because judgment is the one thing that is pulling us down and holding us back. I communicate with the galactics. And the galactics want us to ascend. They want us to reach that higher power. They want us to get to that 5D. But we're hanging on to this 3D world too much, and we're complaining about it. We're complaining about the high prices. Yes, we are going to go through some grievous times where we do have the higher pricing, and it affects us. But there's a way to come out of it. We have to eliminate the old before we can implement the new. We can't just transition it. The transition will still leave too many elements that are in the 3D world that we would have to bring forth. So this has to be eliminated. And in eliminating it, we must get rid of our judgment. We must believe, and more than believe, we must know that a brighter future is coming to us. And if everybody hangs on to the grand celebration of this golden era that we are approaching and entering, we've already entered it, then you should be happy. Find happiness, find joy. We always have a choice. You can choose to be miserable, or you can choose to be happy. You can choose to be judgmental or accept that everything is perfect. God does not make any mistakes. Everything that is done is to his perfection. Yes, he gives us free will, and that's what we're learning from. That's why we came here. We came to learn from the experiences we are encountering. But we always have a choice. We can choose to be negative, or we can choose the positive path. And when you're encountering somebody that's bringing you down, you have a choice, either to walk away or drop a hint that things are getting better. They will be better. Let's look at this aspect, and don't let them drag you in to the negativity.
Right.
Remember, God gave us abundance. He wants us to be abundant. We deserve to be abundant. And the abundance is all around us if we choose to accept it. And know that you're worthy of it. We need to get rid of doubt, judgment, and fear. There is nothing to fear. So those are probably the three biggest downfalls in each of us. I know mine is the judgment. I have to sometimes look beyond that and be tolerant, because everybody is exactly where they're supposed to be at the right time. And we encounter everybody in that moment because it's the perfect moment that has been set up for us. It's a learning experience. You know, you take somebody that got hit by a car, two people, same identical injuries. Their legs are broken. They can't walk. They're on crutches. One person will say, okay, you know what? I'm down for 6 weeks. And in 6 weeks, I'm going to be fabulous and get back to everything I'm doing. The other one is going to say, oh, poor me. Why me? That person is not, their ascension rate is going to be much slower than the person that says, okay, I accept this. Now let's move forward. What else can I do? So we always have choices, and it's the choices that we make that determine our attitude and the new experiences we're going to encounter. And every experience we have sets us up for a new experience. So I hope that kind of helps a little bit in getting to the positiveness, because we can all just choose joy. Choose to know that you already know. Now get there.
Well, I think it does. I think it's what's been tough is, you know, you hear things have been done and the plan, etc. But then, you know, we watch certain, whether friends or family members, and they're still suffering with whatever ailments or, you know, you name it. And it does. It just gets hard. You know, Trump's been in office 10 years, and there's been a lot of dangling carrots and moving finish lines. And you know, I think what's tough on people is you feel like you're coming to the end of this marathon, and it's like, oh, by the way, just kidding, there's another marathon for you. And like, you know, we talked about on the show, if we really would have known the length of time, I suppose that this would take, it would have, a lot of people may have not done what they've done. So it has brought components out of ourselves that I think some, unless you're truly tested, you wouldn't have known certain things about yourself. Like for me, for example, as far as the healing, I am in a men's group, just a lot of different places that people are in their lives, and it's in person. There's no cell phones. It's from a friend of mine that did the outdoor education for at-risk youth right after me. So it was 20 some years ago that we were doing this work with kids. And it's been amazing. So I was in the sweat lodge, and I was in a sweat lodge in Costa Rica, and I only did round 1 and round 4. I didn't really know what I was getting into. And, you know, it's very hot. It's very dark. You're next to a lot of people. There's very hot stones, and you can feel it's not great for those that suffer from claustrophobia, which is me. That could be based on a past lifetime. But yesterday I did all 4 rounds. I couldn't believe it. I just felt like there was just beautiful conversations that were happening with the group. And, you know, we've signed a pact with each other not to go into too many details, but I can at least talk about just the emotional breakthroughs, the guidance that we've all felt from our ancestors while inside this cedar sweat lodge out on Vashon Island. It was incredible. We didn't even have to go to Costa Rica to do this sweat lodge. So it's really amazing to do things in my own backyard in this beautiful state that, yes, there's some evil entities running things here for now. I don't think that's going to last much longer. So I was really interested in doing a show with you because you're always a bright light and you bring in new perspective. And there is a perspective I want to share with people. Our friend Manifesting Marin, she has an amazing Instagram account. She's been so part of the shadow banning. She posted this about the whole Trump Jesus image, if you will. And I wanted to share this with folks because I thought it was, I really needed it the day that I saw this. So I'm just going to make sure people could see that. So there it is. Yeah. So Checkmate. Trump just made liberals defend Christ Jesus. Laugh my ass off. Atheists are now defending Jesus. My goodness, Trump is a genius. Chess at the master level. Bravo, sir. Bravo. I'd love to get your take on that, Michelle.
Oh, I love it. What he is showing, not only is he showing that he's the master at the chess level, he's also exposing the Catholic Church in that. And we know that the Vatican is a huge part, has a huge part in the child trafficking. And I think that's going to be coming out after that. But he's also has the divine creator. I just had something appear on the screen.
Yeah, that was some of the comments. Everything happens exactly as intended by Shendrick, 1776. And looks like Screw Big Up is on here as well. Is this where the cool kids hang out? Can you see that? I know you're on a little screen right now, but
yeah, as a matter of fact, maybe after we're done talking, I'll take everybody on a tour around the bus so they can see Lewis's bus. Yeah. But no, like I said, God does not make any mistakes. Everything is perfect and everything in time. Now, you were talking about the frustration and the dangling of the carrot and keeping us going. Let's look at it from the global perspective.
Please.
There's so few of us that have been aware, that were aware 10 years ago. We have more that have become aware lately. But still, the majority are not aware. If everything was given 10 years ago and done 10 years ago, as most everything has been done, it's now just playing itself out, and we're disclosing to the public, there would have been pure chaos.
Right.
Because you have too many people that are so indoctrinated and brainwashed and MK Ultra'd that they would not have been able to accept the big change. So yeah, we have to dangle that carrot. And as you said, had we gotten all of that information and everything changed immediately, would we have been taking a look at ourselves to work on ourselves, to actually get ready to prepare to enter this new fifth dimension 5D world and above? And don't limit yourself to the 5D world. Okay, we got to do this. There's your governor at work in front of his bus.
I mean, how do you not love that guy?
Believe me, when I say we the people, he is of we the people.
Oh, 100%.
He is one of us. He is never elevated. He says constantly, we are all the same. We're all together in this. And he only wants to work for we the people. And it's been a pure pleasure and an honor to be with him, to be part of his team. Yes, he's a little bit of a slave driver. We go from like 8 a.m. till midnight and we're just driving. We've already put, I think, almost 5,000 miles on in the last 2 weeks. But it's a pure joy because you feel his passion and his authenticity. He is one of the people working for all of us, for all of our children, our grandchildren, hopefully, and all the future generations. Yeah, I'm very honored to be on his team with him.
Well, think of how many lives he's changed. So we met because of Lewis. I met Lisa Schermerhorn because of Lewis. Our show grew because of Lewis. Our businesses have grown because of Lewis, because he wanted to make sure he vetted certain things before, because, you know, luckily we stayed away from a certain company. I mean, we signed up with this company for just a couple weeks and we got a lot of feedback. It was gold, silver, IRAs, etc. And, you know, we got a lot of feedback that would not be a wise decision. So then we met Matt Geiger, who now Scott's now pretty much living with.
Yeah.
And so then we went down to Threadfest down in Dallas. And because we were able to go down there, primarily because of Matt Geiger, then now we've got Joe Rambo and Patrick Gunnels and Dave from News Treason. They're now coming to the event in New York. So Lewis's passion, it basically has had a massive ripple effect in the truther community to help empower us to step into our power, because he saw something not only in us, but by doing those events, those unity tours, those truth tours. I mean, it's no wonder. I mean, at first when I heard he was running for governor, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it all made sense. I just felt like, what is he up against? But, you know, I know who's on his side. So it's incredible. It's incredible. I love that he just stepped in there for a moment.
Yeah, he's doing his morning workout. He usually does it around 7 in the morning, but we got to sleep in today. We ended up in Crescent City, right on the harbor. And yesterday we walked all around and saw the seals barking, and it's just been a beautiful respite for us. And so he's relaxing a little bit this morning. We'll take off at about, I guess, 1 o'clock. And we're enjoying the morning. And I get to talk with my best friend, one of my best friends, Joe. So it doesn't get much better than this.
No. Give us some of the insight into the people that may not be aware, that are kind of black-pilled on whether it's events or politics or whatever, when they have that aha moment of what you guys are up to. I think people would love to hear a little bit about that.
Well, it's amazing because I've been talking, well, you know me, I talk to everybody, but I've been talking to everybody I meet, and, you know, going around and saying that I'm with Louis Herms, who's going to be your future governor of California. And would you like to meet him? And I start talking about how he works for We the People. He even had a We the People tattooed on his inner arm this past year, and that he's the anti-politician. And sometimes I've spoken with people that have said, well, I've been a devout Democrat my whole life, and now they're voting for Louis. You know what really catches them? When I mentioned that for over 5 years, he has been on Rumble promoting Screw Big Gov. As soon as they hear that, it's amazing, because people are fed up with both the Democrat and Republican parties. And they now have an alternative. And that's what I say. Well, I said, instead of having to choose from the selection of the bad guys, how about making a choice that suits you and works for you? And Louis Herms is the choice of We the People. So it's pretty amazing. And what I have found, no matter whom we talk to, and some have said they're devout Chad Bianco voters, others have said they're devout Steve Hilton voters, that's who they're going to vote for. And then after talking with him, and especially when we mentioned the anti-politician and the Screw Big Gov, all of a sudden, yeah, let me have one of those cards. I will look him up. Yeah, you've got my vote. As soon as Louis talks to any group that he's talked with, yes, you've got my vote. It's amazing, because if we look at the entire country, probably the entire population worldwide, we are not living in the extremes. There's so very few in the extremes. Most of us are in the middle. We have more in common than we do differences. And if we really look and promote the commonness that we all share, it goes a long ways. And then those that are on the margin are going to fall off. So basically, all we have to do is talk common sense. And he's the common sense politician. He's not a politician. He hates that word. He says, I am not a politician. I'm an anti-politician. I don't want to be in politics. I just want to do what's best for We the People, for my family, for my children, for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren, to make the world a better place. And as I said before, Louis is definitely divinely guided. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And I don't think he would deny that either. But everything has a purpose. And like I said, we're meeting people from everywhere. And yet we find that commonality. And the commonality is, it's time that we take our country back, that we develop our own sovereignty, because we are sovereign beings. You know, we have the laws of God, our inalienable rights. They are ours. Too many of us have ceded those rights. They cannot be taken from us unless we agree and allow them. And our complacency and apathy has allowed them to dictate to us how we're to live. Isn't it amazing if you look at the Congress and the Senate, they make all these rules, but they always exempt them from the rules. They
Right.
only hold us to them. So you have lawful and you have legal. Lawful is God's law. What's right and wrong? Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. If we just live by those two laws, what a different world we'd have. But getting back to your dangling carrot,
Yes.
if everything was just given to us, look at all of the football players and the lottery winners that have the tremendous hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they're broke in 3 to 5 years. That's what would happen. Now, that's just the monetary aspect, but of all of the life giving that we have, people would not be able to accept it. But by dangling that carrot, it allows us the time to go inward, look at ourselves. How would you change? What would you do to better yourself? How can I be a better person? And as we look at that and go to the golden rule, now we're elevating and we're all going to ascend. You know, where we go one, we go all. But we have some in nursery school, we have some in high school. I could not teach calculus to a first grader. They're not ready for it. They don't have the foundation. So we have to give them time to build that up. And by dangling that carrot a little bit further and further, knowing that eventually we're going to get there, and we are, and it's going to be much sooner than people ever expect. But it allows us that time to build the foundation within ourselves to grow and to get there. Now, there's a big difference between the third dimension and the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension above is all love. You're not going to need the money because greed is going to be eliminated. And greed is what really consumes us in this 3D world. And then also having to pay our bills and not having the cash in the account to pay them. That's another thing that's keeping us in this 3D. But when we get to 5D, when everything is love and you're going to look at your fellow and say, oh, you don't have enough food today? Let me give you my food. Or you need help. We just choose to help one another, share our skills. Maybe we have a plumber that's going to help us here and a carpenter that's going to help us here. And I can produce food to help them sustain themselves. And this is the 5D world we're getting into and above. And I'm not going to limit us to the 5D because there are no limits. We can ascend and continue to ascend. And it's a continuous learning process for our spirit, our soul. But we have to allow people to enter this area. Now, there's a number of us that have known for 10 years what's been going on. It's hardest for us that know than it is for those that don't know, that are learning along the way.
Right. Well, you know, it brings to mind this crash course. So we've had this time to develop ourselves and all that. And what this is like at times is trying to, if people ask what's going on, it's like not only trying to explain a championship game in the fourth quarter with a couple minutes left, but also explaining that this is actually like what football is. So let's use football, for example. So someone's watching it, they don't even know what sport it is. And you're trying to explain this major sporting event in the last few minutes. I mean, that's what it feels like to me at times. So what do you see as, for those of us that have had this time, that's one thing. If you're waking up to this now, and then in something really, which we believe is going to happen in the next few months, that is either a solar flash or something. I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. What do you think the waking up process is going to be for those folks? Or I guess they're going to have to process a lot of this information in a shorter time period, or what do you think that looks like for them? Does that make sense?
Well, that's why things are dripping out, like the Epstein case. Let's take that, for example. And great. I love that analogy you made with a football game. That was really good. But let's look at the Epstein files. we've known that they've been there. We know that there's a lot of corruption involved, but they're drifting just a little bit to give them another little carrot. Now, if you recall, originally it was us that was asking for the Epstein files. Well, then they put that a kibosh. We don't need the Epstein files. As soon as that was said, you had the masses starting to say, well, we want to see him. So by them attacking, because they wanted to see him, because they wanted to attack Trump in it and was hoping he was in it and could take him down. But it doesn't matter the reasoning to get there, but the reason, excuse me, let me backtrack. It doesn't matter the reason to get there. What matters is now they're starting to question. And that's going to happen with every little bit of information that's coming out. But let them start questioning, and then they see. And now they have to accept it, because how can you question what's right in front of you? And I think that's how we're going to see more appear to the masses. And little things like that will be dropping out where they have to question. Because let's face it, Joe, you and I can talk to somebody that doesn't have a clue. And I can say, well, you know about child trafficking. You know about all the tunnels under the earth. You know that Israel is behind the majority of the evilness, or the epicenter to emanate the evilness. They're going to say, you're crazy. What have you been smoking? But if we allow them to find it out and question it, now they've got to think for themselves, and they go, oh, maybe he wasn't such a tinfoil hat person, a conspiracy theorist. Maybe what he was saying was actually true. But they have to come to that conclusion. We can't tell them. I can tell you anything you want me, anything that I would want to tell you, and it's going to go in one ear and out the other unless they experience it. So they have to experience it for themselves, and that's what's happening right now. The judicial system, Trump went through all those indictments. And what happened through those indictments? It exposed the corrupt judicial. The judges that are stopping him from sending the illegals out of the country. Nobody wants the illegals. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. Yeah, you've got the fringes way on the end, the extremists that are saying, go away, ICE. The majority of the people, I don't care who we've talked with, they all want that gone. They are tired of having their tax money go to luxury hotels, Medicaid, and giving them a monthly salary where our veterans and our Social Security recipients are receiving a pittance. So they're tired of that. And like I said before, we have more in common than we have differences. And if we look at how we can work together and boost those commonalities, it's only going to strengthen the entire world, and they're going to be forced to see it. And you know what's really going to change those extremists is when their pocketbook is filled. And as we get rid of the CBDC and the central banking, they're going to see that they have more income for themselves so that they can use that currency. And currency is a frequency. We exchange. And as long as you keep exchanging, the more you give, the more you get back. And it's just a continuous cycle of frequency.
Very true. I have a guest here if she's going to come up. Come on. You going to come say hi? Come on, Gigi. She's coming around. Come on up. There she is.
Hey there, cute little girl. How are you? Oh, yeah, you used to come and cuddle with me. Hi.
Yeah, she's kept me sane for the last 4 years. I want to play this clip for folks. This came out on the 15th. And it's about, did U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just imply not to pay income taxes without saying not to pay income taxes? And I think this refers to what you're talking about here. So here we go.
Yeah.
I want to encourage everyone out there watching today to change their withholding if they haven't already done so, because if you change your withholding, then you will get an automatic real wage increase, be it on a weekly or a monthly basis, and you will be able to keep more of your money this calendar year. I want to.
So, yeah, I mean, it is out there, and I mean, it's just that some people, you know, and I'm just using my family as an example. You know, they're a lot of people, they're just not paying attention to where's the setting I'm trying to get to, for crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? Like they've tuned out from the news. They don't want to hear it. They feel, you know, Trump is a certain way. They're black-pilled. What do you see for those that, you know, they've completely turned out of the media pretty much in every way, shape, or form? They're just, they can't connect with anything. How do you see those folks getting this message?
I see them getting the message when things actually are shown to the public and the public can see it. You know, you just played that thing from Scott Bissett. And yeah, we know that the IRS was taken out in 2020. Its headquarters was in Puerto Rico. It was never part of the United States. All the money given to the IRS was going to support the kickbacks to the politicos, and it's been gone. However, people are still filing taxes because they think they're going to come after him. Trump has already fired, I can't even remember the amount of agents that he has gotten rid of, and the others that he moved into the ICE. So we know that the IRS is gone. They still don't, because they're not listening to the media. And the ones that do listen to the media are the ones that are listening to CNN and the BBC, which is all still has the control. The White Hats have taken those over, but they're allowing them to gradually bring those people across. Because if it was an abrupt change, again, it would create too much chaos for them. But things are definitely happening. The Federal Reserve, I think May 1st is the ouster. And I think we're going to see a dramatic change there that will go to the people directly, to everyone, that they know that now we are in the golden era, gold-backed currencies. No longer are we part of the SWIFT banking system. When that occurs, we're going to see a lot of people grab on. But until that happens, it's going to be a very slow process for the masses. I am very much encouraged by the 20 to 40-year-old group. Most of them could care less about news, media. They don't listen to it at all. But they're big TikTok users, extreme TikTok users. And they're getting their information. And when we go by, we're getting a lot of thumbs up and a lot of honking from that group. The ones that are going to take the longest, because they've been indoctrinated the longest, and are worst, our anti-positiveness, are the white females over 50, the educated group. They look at us with so much disdain.
Right.
Because we walk around with our "We the People," are the Klan shirts. And we talk to everybody. And when I've tried to give out, for instance, Natalie and I were in front of a Walmart the one day, and we were handing out, I'm going to post this up. I hope it comes through that you can see it. Lewis Herms for Government, the "We the People" guy.
Where Lewis stands on the issues. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So we were handing those out and just talking with them and inviting him to his town hall. And the only ones that that walked away from me and didn't want anything to do with it and actually put their hands up, no, were the 50 and over white women.
Right.
And who are they? And they're the ones that are holding up all the ICE posters when you're driving by.
They're the ones that will read every ingredient at Whole Foods, yet not look at any ingredients and what they're putting in their bodies through the medical world, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. They're the same ones. But they've also, you have to look at them. They believe that they're the most educated and most knowledgeable because they've
Oh
got
yes,
masters and PhDs. So they're a difficult group to reach, and it's okay. But they're such a minority; it doesn't matter. But they're
Right.
making the loudest noise,
right.
and maybe it's because they grew up where they were suppressed prior, and now they've got a voice, so they're making use of it. But things are coming along, and as things are divulged to all of us, but I would encourage everyone to take the time right now. And when you encounter a situation where it can be judgmental, let go of the judgment. Accept the person that's where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Because, like I said, God does not make any mistakes. We're all in the perfect place at the perfect time for the perfect experience. And maybe they're supposed to learn something from us and experience something from us to take away that's going to encourage their growth, as we are to learn from them and to have the experience of, okay, I could easily judge them, but I'm not going to, because they're where they're supposed to be. And let's go inward and start building our own character, knowing that we already know. It's just remembering. We're beginning to remember. And the more we remember, the more quickly we're going to ascend.
Well said. There is a recent event that occurred between Trump and Joe Rogan. I want to play this clip because to give a little information in advance, it basically says, well, I'll share this first, and then I'll read it for everybody, because why not narrate it while it's on the screen, right? So there we go. Wow. Well, Joe Rogan reveals President Trump immediately offered him FDA approval for a psychedelic treatment in a text chain. Because the data was so convincing and stunning, I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. With one dose of ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. For 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now, thanks to all these people that you see next to me, and thanks to President Trump. So I'll play this. I'm not exactly sure what the specifics were as far as what the addiction was to specifically, but it could be to many different things. So 1 second here.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With 1 dose of ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now. Thanks to all these people that we see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
Excellent.
It's
excellent.
It's clips like that are 1 minute long that can have quite a profound impact on society. Like anyone that watches that, if they have TDS, it's like, okay, obviously something is going on a big level to help change humanity. I think that's a perfect example of it. What's your thoughts on that one?
No, that's excellent. And that's so true, because the FDA, if you looked at who ran the FDA and the CDC, they were all the corporate executives from the pharmaceutical companies. Well, the pharmaceutical companies are not there to help cure us and to heal us. They're there to make us addicted to their new product. So they impose some drastic disease to us. Then they put out the cure for that disease. And then there's side effects to that. So they got to put another one out. And it's just a cycle that continues to increase their pocketbook.
Right.
Now, by him eliminating the FDA, and he did that earlier when he allowed these drugs that would help people to heal when they were in the terminal stages. And this was back in his first presidency. He got those out, the fast track movement. By him doing this, he's saying, screw you, FDA, we're going to do what's best for the people if there's a cure out there. Now, yesterday, he did a signing of a number of bills to help those that have been under the influence of mental treatment. And I call it influence of mental treatment because, again, it was not to cure them. It was to keep them there and to keep them using more and more medical treatments. So he's really working hard to clean up. And I think he's doing this along with Bobby Kennedy to make us healthy again, make America healthy again. And by putting those EOs in yesterday, he's doing the same thing. It's time to treat the people and make them healthy, as opposed to put them in a mental institution, keep them on drugs, and just perpetuate the illness and the continuation of taking more and more and more drugs. I don't know if you noticed, and I wish I had I think it was on Truth Social, he put it out. It might have been on his X account, but he reposted something that he put out in 2025 about the med beds. And he makes it clear that the med beds are coming out and you are going to be completely healthy, perfectly healthy. And that's what the med beds are designed to do. Now, when Eisenhower made that accord with the Greys, the elites, the so-called elites, because they're really they're worse than us. They're not better than us.
Exactly.
But they had all those med beds. How do you think Schumer could last almost 50 years in the Senate? Nancy Pelosi. Why do none of them die before they're 100 years old? They've been in the med beds. You know they've been using them, but they've withheld them from us. Well, he reposted what he posted in 2025. So they're going to be available to us soon. And I think we're definitely going to have them by the 4th of July. And what the med beds do, I mean, if anybody has ever watched Star Trek, you'll see how they just go bzzz, and they're healed. They have broken bones. They're healed in minutes. The med beds that the Galactics gave us and that have been withheld from us will completely heal our bodies. They will restore all the DNA to the way we came into this world, the way God made us. We will be in perfect health. Now, what you do after you get the med bed treatment, that's up to you. You can always put toxins in your system to cause it to deteriorate. But the med beds will give us a starting point where we will have perfect health and be completely healed. And these are coming out. And I'm glad that this information is dropping. Now, is mainstream media getting it? Probably not. Are they ready for it? Probably not. Because again, the masses are going to look, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. You guys are all wearing the tinfoil hats. Nothing can cure you like that. That's in their mentality. And you think about it, look at all of the doctors that to this day are taking vaccines. I ran into an anesthesiologist before I left Colorado. We were on the trail and I, said hello and started talking to him. And I asked him point blank, what is your stand on vaccines? Oh, I've gotten all the latest boosters. I'm okay. An anesthesiologist. They don't study. They don't question. This is where we have to really boost the population into critical thinking. Question everything. I was talking to somebody and they were referring a book to me. And I said, that's fiction? And they said, yes. I said, I'm sorry. I can't read fiction. I want to learn and acquire as much knowledge as I possibly can. I have a thirst for knowledge. And I question everything. And that's one thing that all of our children that have gone through the public schools have been told not to do. Accept what we tell you, learn by rote, not because it's meaningful, but because that's what we told you to do. Take the test. I remember when I was teaching math and I had my calculus kids and I said, look, for the test, you have to do it this way. As soon as they take the test, I said, when you're done with the test, I'll show you shortcuts. I mean, it is so indoctrinated, and the indoctrination is in the form of MK Ultra. I don't care what anybody says. And as far as I'm concerned, most of the public schools are prisons of indoctrination. When I would ask kids to ask me questions, what questions do you have? They'd look like, I don't have any questions. And we have to get them to start critically thinking. And until they start critically thinking on their own, they're not going to move forward. They've got to start asking questions and find the answers. And it's better if they find the answers than we give them the answers.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what when you're bringing up the TikTok posts, etc. It's kids are able, I mean, they're able to go to TikTok, they're able to look something up and they're able to share it with their friends. They can look at the comments to see if this seems harebrained or out there or whatever. And if the general consensus is that their friends find it relatable and the comments find it, believable, that, whether it's 100% or not, but at least it's getting them to think outside of the narrative that they're being presented. And a lot of people have wondered why the mainstream media is still going. And Dave from News Treason has talked about this. If they're, there's a lot with it. I mean, you've got CNN and there's the guy, I was trying to look up a clip on that. And he's just funny as can be. He's always moving around and he's delivering information that is quite opposite of what people are used to on CNN. But then you have, shows like The View or what have you, and they're still spitting out information that most people are just looking at going, what in the heck? So to have those examples on mainstream media that are either not what people are used to or still having that same narrative, it's allowing people that are still watching the mainstream media to go, what is going on here? So that is the beautiful component of leaving the mainstream media up, because people are seeing outside of that, there's totally opposite information,
Well, that's the other thing too. They've got to get it from the sources that they rely on.
Correct. I've thought that ever since the beginning.
Yeah, if CNN and BBC were gone and NBC and all you had was Fox, they'd turn it off and wouldn't listen. But slowly, and we know that CNN has been taken over and the white hats are using the new people on there to drop information, to question, but they'll listen to that or they won't listen to anybody speaking from Fox. And isn't it ironic that the people that are so into The View, and we know that Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg have been frequent flyers to Epstein Island. So when that comes out, I think that's going to be a good outlet for them to start questioning over there. And I think that's the reason that they're still keeping them on, because they will be exposed as the baddies as well.
Right.
And that's a whole nother audience. And I don't know anybody that watches that, but I'm sure there are some. I was told that their viewership has gone down dramatically.
Right. Well, I want to play this. This guy's name is Harry, and this is just a clip from, April 9th. But United States of America, President Donald Trump reaches 100% approval among MAGA Republicans. I just want to play this so people know who I'm talking about. If you look up Harry on CNN, the delivery is absolutely priceless. This is just a quick clip, but I want people to see it so they know who he is.
Can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami. Can't go.
So, I mean, he has humor. He's saying things on CNN that probably are breaking people's brains that normally watch CNN. So, I mean, it really is. because you've Dr. Jan Halper Hayes had mentioned this, and as a psychologist, humor is really the best way to break through to people. It's very disarming, and so I think that's why Scott and I love having to use humor on our show, and even and create some levity on very very challenging topics and subject matter that it's not easy to talk about. I mean, it's very challenging to know about these topics and to go out there and share things. Because my mom will ask me, "Hey, what did you guys talk about today?" And it's kind of hard to take a conversation from just my perspective that's part of a panel of everyone backing each other up. That's the beauty of the shows is not only are we sharing with each other, and there's a lot more wisdom that we're all coming, or place of wisdom that we're all coming from, then we'll add clips. And so it's kind of hard to just give the breakdown of a show from one person's experience in summation, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And humor it's also healing.
It is.
Humor heals us. It allows us to express whatever we felt. And it's a good way when people want to get a point across without offending somebody else, inject some humor into it.
Yeah. Which brings me to this. I want to play. This is I just found this clip the other day. I reposted this on our X. Being in the Northwest, this clip is Portland roast, pretty accurate. So this is on Oregon Ducks Mama, conservative in Oregon. This is about 2 minutes, and I just want to play this. This was such a great clip, especially for those in the Northwest. So I'm going to play this. I want to get your thoughts on this. Here we go.
My neighbor where I'm staying has one of those signs, those signs. It says, "In this house, we believe water is wet, ice is slippery, science is scientific, Black Lives Matter." I'm like, so I went to the CVS, got a poster board. I made my own sign. I said, "In this house, we believe our neighbors are fucking retarded. Not fun at parties, insufferable. We believe the husband lost his balls in a jar somewhere." You land, they let you know where you are. I didn't even get off the plane. Like, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for saying ladies, sorry to gender that speech. We mean humans or transhuman people. Just keep in mind the overhead compartments have been filled with illegal migrants, so let them scatter off. Let them off first, okay? They've had a tough ride from Venezuela, okay? Give them your pretzels or your chips because they need it more than you. If you're white, don't forget to denounce your privilege before you get off the plane. Apologize to a black person or a queer person for a bunch of shit you never did. We're going to do a quick land acknowledgement before we exit. We just want to acknowledge that Gate 55 was stolen from Delta. It's now United, and so we just want to apologize to the Deltonian people. If any of your children are confused about their sex, we are doing sex reassignment surgeries for just 1,500 Sky Miles if you're a medallion member. It's a wonderful deal. You want to take advantage of that today. That's going to be at baggage claim 15. Put them on the conveyor belt. By the time they come back around, they'll be snipped up, tip-top, ready to go. Hit the streets of Portland. We want to just remind you of the wonderful things that you can do while you're here in Portland. You can burn down a liquor store without getting arrested. Enjoy some of our great sites, like going to a CVS and having a teenager unlock your condoms while you wait 15 minutes in embarrassment. Or head down to the park and watch a heroin addict shoot needles in his dick in front of your 8-year-old. Welcome to Portland International Airport.
Oh my gosh. He reminds me of George Carlin, bringing all of the issues up front with a sense of humor. I love it. It was great. I lost you, Joe.
Whoops. Yeah, sorry. I had muted myself. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure people could hear all that. There wasn't any extra noises. But yeah, I mean, that 2 minutes, that's because people could do hour-long shows or whatever, but certain clips or really poignant moments from shows. It's like that's one of them. That is just, I don't know how long his actual performance was, but those 2 minutes are just gold.
You're going to have to send me his site because I want to watch him. No, he's great. Like I said, he reminds me of George Carlin. You know who else does a good humorous bit to bring up different issues that are current issues? Is Dr. Layla Ali. You know her, don't you?
Yeah,
I think she was on Truth too with you.
Yeah, Dr. Layla Ali is amazing. She really is.
But she does the same type of humor. And you get more across on humor because people can relate. And then now they're going to go home and say, oh, yeah, they talked about transhumanism. Okay, maybe that's not such a good thing. Or the illegal immigrants falling out of the overhead baggage.
Yep. Well, I do want to keep this show roughly an hour. Do you want to go and share some of the outside happenings of the van? If you
let me show you, because like I said, Lewis is the man of the people and he's working for the people, and that's all he'll ever do. He's also gone on record that when he takes office as governor, he's going to put all of the financials online for people to have access to them and to question them and to do a personal audit. So his openness is really good. Yeah, let me take a walk out of the truck here and I'll give you a little view of our traveling bus.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So Lewis Herms for governor of 2026. And the nice, amazing thing is the primary is on June 2nd. It's also Lewis's birthday.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Very cool.
And like I said, that anti-politician is what's getting people and drawing people closer to the bus and to ask questions of us. He's the we the people guy.
Yep, there it is.
And if you didn't know what he looked like before, this is what he looked like before. After, we'll see what he looks like.
Right, exactly.
So right now there's 5 of us that are trying to get us.
Awesome. Is there anyone else there that we could say hello to real quick? I'm not sure if they're around.
No, I think they're all in eating breakfast right now.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Lewis is in doing some work. He's on the computer. But let me see if I can get him out real quick to say hi.
Yeah,
I think that's an awfully great idea.
Yeah.
If he's not on the computer.
We'll see. Yeah, we still got you loud and clear, so that's good. And of course, he's probably going to be on the computer or working.
In his audience. Yeah, just hold on 1 second. He's on the computer getting off, and he'll join us for a minute.
I mean, why not?
Or
a little,
or maybe 10.
Little heads up from the update from the man himself. Hello, Lewis.
Howdy. Looks like we need to clean up a lens here. Hold on a second.
I'd mentioned that earlier. I'm not sure. There we go. How are you, my friend?
Oh, good. I'm working on putting together 3 powerful commercials right now that we got to get voiceovered, and I'll probably end up doing the editing myself just because I like it to be done quicker than later. So that's what we're doing right now. How about you?
About ready to head out on Tuesday to the Awakening Summit over in New York, in Lynbrook, New York. So, and I think you'll be making some kind of a Zoom type of or recorded appearance over there of some sort. But
That's right. That's right. Let me see. I think blurry looks better for me, actually. So let's just go with blurry.
There we go. There we go. So what's it been like for you? You know, you're how many dates into is it 50-ish dates of this tour?
No, so what we have going on is we're doing the tour is twofold. So we are holding accountable every single elections office in the state to make sure they're doing the right job. And we were told that we were the only person that's ever done this in the history of elections. So that's weird. So we're going to all 58 counties. And in the midst of that, we're also holding town halls. So we have somewhere between 75 and 80 events in a 29-day span.
Wow. Wow. And how are you feeling about the reaction and the impact that you could share with folks as well?
Well, what's fascinating and actually a pleasant surprise is it seems like when we talk to somebody, we have almost a 90% conversion rate, which is just unreal.
Yeah.
So that means our policies are completely resonating with the people, and the fact that we're being authentic. And so this is the time. So the only challenge that we have, in fact, I was just emailing somebody that he's writing an article for a major conservative news network, we'll just say that, on my behalf, which is great. So that's another good win for us. But he was asking about things like, he's like, I don't understand how when you run this through AI, you're not even considered one of the top 10 candidates. And I showed him, and then when he looked at all the suppression that we're going in, and I showed him the evidence, his mind was blown. So these are people that are heavily involved in media, and they don't even know the type of suppression that we go through. So the key is for us is just to get the word out. Right. Literally. So that's why we're working on the commercials now. And then all we need at this point, he was just saying, so what do you need? I said, well, we need a couple either large interviews. We need some celebrity endorsements, you know, the good guy celebrities, or a ton of money. Because with the money, we can put out our own commercials. We can all over social media. We can, they can't stop us. We found the law, and we've already checked and we've tested it. The powers that be cannot stop us for advertising in the mainstream. Legally, they cannot. So and I could even talk shit about the mainstream media in my commercial if I feel like it. And legally, they can do nothing about that. So I don't know if I'll waste my time doing that, but that certainly would be fun. So all we need right now is funds in order to do that, which is awesome. It's actually, people would say, oh, that's horrible, you need so much money. And I'd say, no, it's beautiful. The fact that we have such a solid campaign and such a solid platform, and everything's going so well, and the only thing we really need is the funds to get the word out. It's actually, I look at that as a bonus, as a benefit. So we're right on the cusp. We're very, very excited about things. And tomorrow we have a debate. Tomorrow, a Maha debate, which should go really good. And what I've noticed is the two top conservative candidates, every time they do a debate, they promote the hell out of it, unless I'm in the debate with them, and then they don't promote it at all. Doesn't it? This says a lot. So they have never mentioned anything about the 3 or 4 debates that I've been in. It's crickets on both sides. Yet, as soon as they're doing a debate and I'm not in it, they're promoting it on both their channels all the time. I think that speaks volumes. So they don't even want their own people to see us talk.
Exactly. And what can we, the people, do? I mean, you know, we at TruthStream, we repost, we, you know, share, we do what we can, but sometimes some of our accounts can't get the word out quite as well as some of the other folks that may be watching this show or shows like this. What can people do to get the word out for you, and where can they go to get the most current either tweets, obviously tweets, but intel or whatever they can do to share what you have to offer, those clips, etc.?
Well, I appreciate it. Then go to hermsforcali.com. which I've noticed is incorrect.
Oh yeah, let
on-
me. I combined the. I can change that. I was trying to put your name and let's just.
Oh,
Let's
got
just,
it. So it's just hermsforcali.com, which I see is scrolling properly on the bottom. And they can find all our social media on there. If you want to talk about suppression, this is amazing. So we had a record amount of views on our Facebook 2 months running, yet we don't have one increase in a follower. So
exactly.
how do you get 1 million views on Facebook in a month and not one increase of a follower? I think people that this is the type of stuff you and I dealt with it on Rumble, so we know exactly what this looks like, right?
We deal with it on X. We deal with it everywhere. And like you said, if and when, and I believe when the censorship lifts, then we can get the word out about everything that we're talking about. You have mentioned that that's the number one thing is the censorship, because then it's going to allow the information about the human trafficking to finally get out in the way it should. Yeah.
Human trafficking, the medical mafia, the stolen elections, the poisonous food, those streaks in the air that nobody wants me to talk about, the ones that when I was a child I would look up and I could find a poodle and a whale and a giraffe, and now when I look up I can play tic-tac-toe. But that's nothing wrong there, right? That's just normal stuff for many people.
Right. So yeah, well, we wish you the best, and we're looking forward to you updating folks when we're over at the Awakening Summit. Scott and I thank you for everything you've done for Truth Stream and for the people that watch our show and our sponsors. It's allowed us to do what we do and continue to do this. And we know that when you get in, I just got to keep, I want to keep everything as positive as I can, because it's up to the man upstairs, as my dad would say. And you are the paradigm shift for what's possible in politics. And you don't even want to be in politics. I think it's a heck of a combo.
It is weird, isn't it? Yeah. So the reality is when we break through, right, the rest of the world breaks through.
Yep.
Because they're all looking at California to see what happens in California. So I think this is a monumental task, but we're doing the yeoman's work. And as you know, we have a phenomenal team. You're just spending time with one. And we are extremely blessed and happy to be in the position to make a difference. And God bless you and your team and everything that you've done. And say hi to everybody that we know. And I will hope to zoom in or video in your conference this coming weekend.
Beautiful. Well, I think we've tied it up. Thanks, everybody. Go to hermsforcali.com. Share anything you can on any social media platform, because it gets the word out more than some of our shows. And if we can, I guess we can tie it up by saying bye to Michelle.
Yeah, let's hand it over. See you guys.
Thanks, Lewis. Michelle,
Thank
anything you want to say in closing to our audience with that lovely smile?
Well, I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in to us and listening to us. Please consider supporting Lewis if you're in California for his run for governor, because as he said, as California goes, the rest of the country will go. And he's one of us, and he's working for us, not for anyone else. So he's absolutely the man that you want to see as your governor of California. You do have a choice. Also, I would like to say that Lewis has put up everything to do this campaign. He's giving up a lot. He's sacrificing a lot. He doesn't have the backing from the major PACs. So anything you can do to donate to him, it's cost us about $250 a day to run that bus. It would be greatly appreciated. He does not like asking for anything, but I know that he really needs it. And any way that we can support him would be very beneficial. The other thing you need to know is everybody that's on his team It's all volunteer. We're all working with him, giving up our time and to make sure that he is in that governor mansion come this fall. So anything you can do would be greatly appreciated. Joe, it's always an honor. You know, I love talking to you, and I'm glad you just said, let's chat online. So we're chatting online as we normally do. And it's just been great. And I wish you well in your endeavors this coming weekend. I would, you know, if I weren't with Lewis right now, I'd be there with you. So thank you again for this time. Thank you for the wonderful chat, your energy. Love you much, brother.
Awesome. Thank you. Love you, Michelle. And we'll see each other soon at one event or another, or maybe just hanging out on some beach somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, Louis, Joe, can we play a little bit for Lewis?
Yeah. Yeah. You said that's perfect. I have it right here. This is with Bruce Poppy.
Yeah, from Bruce Poppy. And what I also would like to say to everybody, know, do not just believe, but know in your heart that we are transforming this world. It's transmuting into the golden age where we are all going to see much abundance.
Beautifully said. And with that, here's a clip from Bruce Poppy.
And while I'm on the Governor of California situation, I encourage, because Louis Herms is right now out there running around in an RV wrapped. He's going 58 counties, I think, in 30 days. He needs some help. It's over $300 a day just to put gas in the RV. And my lovely wife, Natalie, is out there helping him. I'm sacrificing my relationship with her, the time together. We're apart. So she can be out there helping him, and I can be here holding things down here in Florida. But she's driving the chaser vehicle, a pickup truck. So they're running all over, up and down California. They need donations. They need money. They need money for gas. They need money, to help bring we the people back to being in charge there in California. So you can go to Herms for Cali, Herms4, F-O-R, Herms4Cali.com and donate $5, $10, whatever you can afford. I know things are tight. Everybody's, pinching pennies, but if you can turn loose some of that coin and help Lewis out, that would be very, very greatly appreciated.
There we go. Even the QR code that's popped up there for everybody.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, we got to do what we can. I could take that clip and I could repost that as well. I mean, I'll put it on X. We'll see. We'll see how many impressions it gets. But we're gonna keep doing it anyway. It is what it is. And I put a message on our Telegram account, letting people know if there's not a shift by July, that I'd be stepping back. But we're still going forward till then. I just know for my mental health, I need to do what I need to do and take care of things. And we just need, I just think that the energy needs to be 100% till then, and we'll see what we see. And I think positive things are going to come. I just know between balancing the show and doing, the Awakening Summit and taking care of a mom that's still dealing with diabetes issues. We're throwing everything at this. It's not easy to manage all of this. It really is not. So I do everything that I can within my power.
And know that everything going forward is going to be beautiful. But let's all work together to come together. The collective consciousness. One thought goes out to the collective consciousness all over the planet. It's planetary. It's global. So we need to keep our frequencies up to help our fellow neighbor. And you're going to see, you just smile at somebody and their frequency automatically goes up because now they've taken that energy in and they feel a little bit lighter.
Right.
So let's just stay positive, knowing that everything is going to be good.
Absolutely. And I'll just put up these two two previous thumbnails. So if people are in the New York area or want to join us, we have the Truth, Freedom, Future, unfiltered global truths that will help us take back our America, our freedom, and our future in Lynbrook, New York at theawakeningsummit.org. And here is a look at who's going to be there. Alyssa V, Stu's News, Derek Johnson, Carrie Cassidy, Louis Herms via the internet, Dr. Jan Helper Hayes, myself, Brad Olson, Scott Stone, Lisa Schermerhorn, Matt Geiger from Verity Metals, Laura Worley, Mark Abrams from News Treason, Patrick Gunnels, he's always on with Rambo and Dave, Chris O'Connor, Sue Ligenfelter, Light Warrior, Patriot Cat, Joe Rambo, fresh out of some kind of teeth replacement surgery that he's going to be. So he might be a little loopy. And Dave from News Treason. Guys, come join us. It's only $87 for 2 days, right in Lynbrook, New York. And if we can make it there, we can make it anywhere. So just want to share that with everybody. And I think we're good, right, Michelle? Anything else?
Absolutely. That's an awesome venue and an awesome group of people that you've brought together. Give everybody my love that's there, because I won't be, but and we will see each other soon, very soon, I'm sure.
Yep, indeed. All right. Much love, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You got it. Absolutely. Anytime.
I have known for some time something about the world ain't right. The darkness lives in plain sight. In the ether, adjust your eyes. There are those that have no clue. You give them hints, they just stare at you. Most